Deputy John Brady, please.
This morning it became apparent that the huge delays in maternity benefit payments did not come as a complete shock to the Taoiseach, who was the Social Protection Minister at the time. In fact, he had been made aware of the delays a full 3 months in advance. One cannot ignore the fact that this issue was brought to public attention in May, when the then Taoiseach was emerged in a leadership bid. Having 1,300 women who are actually on maternity leave without any payment and a further 2,850 claims for maternity benefit pending was a hugely inconvenient for the Taoiseach Varadkar. This morning, Taoiseach, through Freedom of Information, we learned that staffing levels within the department had become unsustainable months earlier and several warnings had been issued. The principal officer with responsibility for maternity benefits had emailed the Assistant Secretary in the department as far back as February the 14th to caution that unless we get, quote, unless we get extra staff injection, and I'm saying we need 6 staff immediately, he said, we will remain in a position where we are paying far too many maternity benefit claims after the commencement of leave date. Another document in March shows that the office in Buncrana was down a full 20% in terms of staff levels. The documentation also raises questions about the impact that the introduction of maternity benefit had in September 2016 actually had on the department's capacity. And what was the Taoiseach's response to all of this, Taoiseach? Do absolutely nothing whatsoever. Instead, it was not until the delay in maternity benefit payments had made the news in May that the Taoiseach eventually apologised to all the women out there. It seems that the Taoiseach and his government, you simply do not get it, and that was the message that was sent out and is still going out. You simply do not get it. And these are simply not just figures, Taoiseach. This impacted the lives of new mothers in a very, very real way. It caused additional pressure at a time when there is no shortage whatsoever of pressure. And what was Taoiseach's response, Taoiseach? A shrug of the shoulders, a scripted apology and total and utter cold indifference. An apology that is now made all the emptier because the Taoiseach stood idly by and allowed it to happen. I have to say, Taoiseach, that this shows an alarming contempt for all mothers. Your government is a nasty government, Taoiseach. It has no time for all those people out there who actually require social support. So, Taoiseach, why did the Taoiseach sit on his hands and abandon thousands upon thousands of new mothers out there?
Taoiseach.
The Taoiseach, in his role then as Minister for Social Protection, clearly took action, because the current situation, and I can confirm, is that the processing of maternity benefit payments are now up to date, and claims from others going on maternity leave are processed as they start their leave. And that's the message I would want to get out there to pregnant women, that those applications are being dealt with immediately, that they will have their payment immediately. There's approximately 18,750 claimants in receipt of maternity benefit payment at present. And the Department, you're right, the Department has acknowledged that there were delays in processing claims over the period from February to early June. And some others during that period did experience a delay of up to 4 weeks. And certainly the department has apologised for those delays, because it's a very efficient department, and they did deal with the problems, because the delays were temporary. They were temporary. They were caused by a combination of staffing and operational difficulties that can arise in a department from time to time. There was a very high turnover of staff in the Buncrana office, which processes the maternity claims, and the time required to source staff to fill the vacancies, and of course the subsequent training, was also an issue. In relation to the operational issues, a new IT system was put in place, and that took a bit of time to begin to operate fully. So the good news, Deputy, is that the applications are being dealt with as they arrive in the office immediately, and the good news is also that the processing of paternity benefit claims is up to date. And the Department continues to make every effort to ensure that people are dealt with in a timely manner, and in order to alleviate any delays, additional staff were assigned to the area, and staff are working overtime, including Saturdays. So every initiative has been taken both by the Minister at the time and by the Department to ensure that when claims arrive in for maternity benefit and for paternity benefit, that they are dealt with immediately, and both are completely up to date at present. So clearly action was taken to deal with the temporary operational and staffing issues that I've described.
Brady.
Well, Taoiseach, your response clearly shows again that you do not get it. Your government does not get it. You don't give any regard to all the people out there who actually depend on social benefits. And your response clearly shows that. The one thing I actually concur with you is the staff in the department are very, very efficient. Efficient in the fact that they highlighted the concerns around staff levels a full 3 months before the Taoiseach actually responded. And the only reason he responded was because it hit the headlines. And the FOI actually clearly shows that there was a flurry of activity within the department then to try fix this problem. Why? Because it was in the spotlight. The media were focusing on it. It was an inconvenient time because it came in the middle of your leader's leadership bid, and it was only then that action was taken in a blind panic. And maybe, you know, the Taoiseach was too focused on his hate campaign around other social welfare recipients than actually pay attention to the issue affecting thousands of mothers out there who were entitled to their benefit and they weren't being paid. So again, Taoiseach, I'll ask the question, and maybe you'll give a response, an accurate response, as to why the Taoiseach did not act a full 3 months prior to he actually did. Why did he sit on his hands and allow these payments go unpaid, Taoiseach?
Taoiseach, to conclude, please.
Well, this government has shown total respect for people who are making such claims, and always will. Because we recognise the difficulties that claimants have. So your characterisation is really extremely inaccurate, and the bottom line on this is that the issue has been dealt with. The action has been taken. The staff...
But it's dealt with.
No, it's been dealt with because the department recognised there was an issue, put the resources, the training, the staffing in place to make sure that people who needed this benefit in a timely way were dealt with. The issue has been dealt with. Everyone recognised, including the Minister and the staff in the department, that it was an issue that needed to be dealt with. Action has been taken, Deputy, and I'd ask you to recognise that.
Thank you, Taoiseach. Deputy Brendan Howland, please.
The National Economic Dialogue is taking place yesterday and today, but in truth it's a farcical exercise. The dialogue is happening without any indication from government